What's going on, everyone? So, this whole Kawhi Leonard situation, in my opinion, further establishes the Lakers' kind of status and what they are as an organization, right? And it's not so much like, a moral thing or anything like that. Right? We don't know exactly what has happened with the Kawhi Leonard situation, right? Everything's alleged right now. The NBA is going to do their investigation. They're going to find whether it's true or not. Of course, the Clippers are denying everything and saying that they have proof and, all of the documentation to show that it wasn't like some backdoor deal or anything. And that very well could be the case. It could be that they really did give him a backdoor deal, right? We don't know. We're going to see how this all unfolds. To think that players and stuff aren't getting some type of kickbacks and things like that, I think is silly. Again, just my opinion. I don't know, right? It's kind of one of those things. Don't get caught, right? If you're going to do so, but I talked about it in the video over on the sports channel where I really broke down the situation, and I even talked about how think of celebrities and actors and all kinds of it's not uncommon for them to get deals and things that never come to fruition, right? They just get paid just to actors will get paid to not act for other films and things like that, just to kind of be on standby. So once you reach a certain level of wealth and status and stuff, it's really easy to get money, right? Once you have it and you have a certain status to you, when you're poor, you got to pay for everything. But once you get to that status, then all of a sudden you don't, and you have the money to pay for those things. But the reason I mentioned the Lakers' status and what they are is because, again, you're talking about an organization, not so much now that Mark Walters owns it, but previously, the Lakers weren't this super wealthy. They didn't have Steve Ballmer's money. They weren't billionaires. They're one of the lowest ownerships in all of sports as far as net worth of the owners. And you see, right, recent reports coming out that Kawhi wanted Toronto to line him up more endorsement deals and stuff like that if he was to stick around with Toronto, and they were trying to work on those things. Again, we don't know that. That's very different than having some little backdoor deal. It's hey, we're trying to get you endorsements and things like that because there's money in that, right? You look at a team in an organization like the Lakers, and LA has insane tax rates and all kinds of, but players and stars and stuff like that continuously want to go to the Lakers. Lakers regularly end up with the top end guys. Why guys like LeBron came, Luka was sticking around. I was very adamant personally. We're not going to lose Luka. I'm not worried about Luka leaving. Right? Players don't usually leave the Lakers. Right? At least the high end players usually don't leave the Lakers. Usually when they come here, they stay until the Lakers end up trading them or whatever. Right? And it's because the endorsements, the brand, all the money beyond that. I've talked about this in the past with other players and stuff, right? Luka Doncic, yeah, him losing a bunch of money, not getting the Supermax from Dallas, he's going to make that and then some on brand deals and endorsements and things like that, being in LA, being on the Lakers. It's why players will come here on prove-it deals and stuff like that, because they know the spotlight, the attention, the notoriety, right? All of the avenues to generate and create money. There's a reason that, agents want them and their players to go to big markets like LA, like New York and stuff, because that's where the money's at. The Lakers, if any team is not doing backdoor deals, it's probably the Lakers. And it's not because they, might not be willing to or whatnot. It's just they didn't have the money until Mark Walters, right? So you see the whole Steve Ballmer situation, and whether that's true or not, right? Steve Ballmer has the money to do stuff like that. Jeannie Buss does not. Jeannie Buss isn't able to do those things. And hey, here's $28 million on the back. They didn't. They couldn't even pay Alex Caruso, right? But why do players want to stick around? Because the money is there. You go, LeBron's making, LeBron's contract at this point is basically his tax payment. He's basically playing for free, for the NBA. All his money comes from those endorsements and those brand deals and Nike and all these other things that generate. And it's why stars regularly go to the Lakers. Right? It's the name brand. It's Big Brother. And you see Clippers, the desperation of being little brother. And remove this from the conversation, right? Remove the whole Kawhi Leonard thing from the conversation, right? Steve Ballmer wanted it, built the new stadium in Inglewood and spent all this money on it and stuff, which is great, and I haven't gotten a chance to go to the stadium. I would like to at some point and just go catch a game and check out the stadium and stuff, because I hear it's amazing. I know a couple people that have gone and say it's unbelievable, and that's great, right? But he's trying to distance himself, create that separation from, the Lakers. Clippers have wanted to do that for years. I mean, they were sharing the same stadium for so long, right? The fan base, it's a Lakers town. Right? Stars, you need that extra incentive. Right? If all the talks where Kawhi was going to the Lakers, team up with LeBron and Luka and Anthony Davis, right? There needs to be that incentive. There needs to be things to, why would I go to the Clippers when I could go to the Lakers? Obviously, if there's circumstance, right? Lakers just, they don't have a spot. And it's I just want to be in LA, so I can't go to the Lakers. Then I'll go to the Clippers. But if all things are created equal, if I'm a superstar, right? And let's say both teams have a max contract and they could sign me, why in the world would I go to a team like the Clippers? Why? There's no incentive for me to go to the Clippers that I wouldn't get more out of than the Lakers. Right? Lakers are a bigger name, bigger brand, right? Bigger spotlight, more attention, more brand deals. The LA market is the LA market regardless, right? So it's not because I'm on the Clippers. No, you're in the same market, you're in the same everything, but you get more opportunities being and donning that purple and gold. I mean, there's more talk about the Lakers than anything. Right? Teams like OKC and stuff win the championship and they're talking about the Lakers, right? You get guys like Mike Malone crying on podiums because his team has advanced and beat the Lakers and everyone's talking about the Lakers. And he's like, well, what about us, right? Because, again, no one cares. You're not the Lakers. You're never going to be the Lakers, right? The Lakers brand is beyond. Lakers brand is the biggest, one of the biggest in sports, period. Again, so that's the incentive, right? It's why I'm always so confident. I say, trust the process. Lakers will get their guy. I talked about it, videos the last few years. I'm not worried about when LeBron retires. I'm not worried about Anthony Davis and whatnot. At some point, we're going to get that other guy. And we did. We got it a lot sooner than I thought. But we did. We got the guy in Luka Doncic. And when Luka, and his courses ran, and we need that other star, guess what? That other star is going to come. If a star has an opportunity to go to the Lakers, and it makes sense, it has to make sense. But if a star has the opportunity to go to the Lakers, and it makes sense, they're going to go to the Lakers. Right? Lakers have missed out on guys to the Clippers over the last few years, and people like to go, haha, really stuck it up to the... No, it's because it made more sense for those players to go to the Lakers. Right? And they're not, or go to the Clippers. And they're not big stars. Like Bradley Beal choosing the Clippers over the Lakers. Yes, I would have loved to have Bradley Beal, but we weren't talking about him starting and being the third guy and doing all this other stuff. No, we're talking about him being a bench role and can he provide scoring in a sixth man role. That's the difference. That's why he went to the Clippers, because he gets to start. And even through everything, all this noise, everything, the Clippers have done what? Nothing. Right? If all this is true and they're doing all this stuff to keep Kawhi and all that stuff, right? It was for nothing. Literally. Lakers have had more success than the Clippers over the last few years. Even with all the Lakers being trash and play-in team and blah, blah, and all the noise about how bad the Lakers have been. The Lakers have 2 conference finals and an NBA championship in the same time that Kawhi Leonard has been with the Clippers. The Clippers' best season in their franchise history was going to the conference finals, right? The Lakers did that in a season where they rebuilt at the trade deadline on the fly. Right? The Lakers rebuild on the fly and they match the Clippers' best season of their franchise history. That's the difference. That's why Clippers are always going to be a little brother. And then things like this happen and come out, and it just, again, it shines a further spotlight on the Lakers and shows how valuable, significant, and important the Lakers organization is. And it's not even just the Clippers, it's everything. It's big market teams, stuff like that, right? There's a difference between the Knicks and the Nets. right? There's a difference between a lot of these big market teams, these iconic franchises, things like that. Yes, I'm sure that there are stars out there that are like, oh man, like I could go to the Lakers and be another Laker great, or I could go to the Clippers and if I win a championship, but those are outliers, right? I'm sure that there's at some point there will be a star that's like, man, like I could go to the Lakers or I could go to the Clippers and bring them their first championship, right? Maybe that happens at some point, but it's not the norm. Again, if all things are created equal, players are always going to go to the Lakers. If both teams have, 0 guys on their roster, full cap space, and it's like, I can go to the Clippers or I can go to the Lakers and then build my team. Nobody's choosing the Clippers over the Lakers. They're just not. Because there's no incentive to. Right? Like the Bradley Beal situation, there was incentive for Bradley Beal. I can go to the Clippers and I can start, play a bigger role, get bigger minutes, where I don't know what my role is going to be on the Lakers. I don't know how it's going to work. Also, the Lakers would have had to do some configuring. It's very possible Lakers didn't even want to go and get Bradley Beal. It's very possible that the Lakers just didn't choose Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal might have not even had a choice. Right? We're just going on the assumption that, like, hey, Bradley Beal could have went to the Lakers. I wanted it. A lot of people wanted it. Could have been cool. But it's very possible that the Lakers are just like, nah, we're not going to trade a bunch of stuff to go bring you off the bench. Right? We're good. Hard pass, right? Lakers get their pick of the litter. That's how it works. Right? They have the most status, the most recognition, the best brand name behind them. And now they have the money to back up a lot of the things. And like I've talked about, like Mark Walters, his impact isn't really necessarily going to be felt through the rosters, directly, just because, again, you have the CBA, new CBA, but CBA period, and all the restrictions that go with that. It's not like baseball where you can just like, hey, here's $1 billion payroll. Can't do that in the NBA. Where you're going to feel his money is in the training staff, the department, right? Like, I wouldn't be shocked if in, 5 years or whatever, all of a sudden Lakers are building a new stadium, building a new arena or whatever, right? Like, the money's going to come from, or where we're going to feel the impacts of the money is from the outside of the court, right? Development, training staff, coaches, all of those things, putting the best of the best into the organization to help build out the infrastructure. That's where I think you're really going to see that. But again, I just think that this is another example of just the Lakers brand is just that big. So we'll kind of see how that all plays out and how it works out and whatnot. But it's funny. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. Either way, I'd love to hear it. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.